Good, happy Sunday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's get started. First up, we begin with your COVID-19 update. First up, COVID-19 in New Hampshire, important information and latest data. Let's take a look at that right now. There are 8,121 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 7,077,450 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 439 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 734 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 204,486 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And let's take a look at this current map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester 39. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester 2038. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization. And then the red are the deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization, red death, and blue recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And let's take a look at this chart here. Your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, difficult breathing, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for latest of your COVID-19 information. Hiker dies after falling from waterfall in White Mountains. A hiker was killed Saturday after falling from a waterfall in the White Mountains, according to New Hampshire Fish and Game Department. The man had been hiking with two friends, but went ahead to follow a trail to the top of Azusa Falls, the department said. When his friends reached the falls, they found his body. The area has no cell phone service, so the friends ran to a home near the trailhead to call 911. Rescue crews responded and carried the man's body out around 11 p.m. The trail to the falls is almost 2 miles, and the average height of the falls is 70 feet, the Fish and Game Department said. The man's name was not immediately released. It was the second fatal fall in the White Mountain National Forest in as many days. A rock climber died Friday after falling 55 feet when his equipment malfunctioned at the Rumney Rocks climbing area, according to the Fish and Game Department. One person dies in multi-unit apartment building fire in Colebrook. Officials announced that one person died during a fire at a multi-unit apartment building in Colebrook Sunday morning. According to officials at the New Hampshire State Fire Marshal's Office, a 911 caller reported the fire at 187 Main Street in Colebrook around 7:21 a.m. Sunday. First arriving unit rescued 6 residents from a porch roof and 1 resident fell from the roof. 5 residents were treated at the hospital while 1 resident was unable to escape and died. The fire was extinguished with the Colebrook Fire Department receiving mutual aid from the Starford and Beecher Falls Fire Departments. The Red Cross is assisting the families of 6 occupied apartments. Apartment shooting leads to 2 crashes in West Concord. Cops are investigating at least 1 man shot inside an apartment on Bog Road. Crashes on Fisherville Road, North State Street, and a DWI. It was a wild night and morning in West Concord as police investigated a shooting inside an apartment, a crash involving people fleeing from the apartment, and an accused drunk driver who crashed into a police cruiser while officers were investigating the first crash. Around 11:15 p.m. Saturday, Concord police and firefighters were sent to the intersection of Fisherville Road, Swill Falls Road, and North State Street for a report of a single vehicle accident. The first arriving firefighters responded and reported a black Chevrolet had major damage after striking a tree and a sign. The vehicle, which had multiple passengers, was right-sized up, but all its airbags were deployed as if it had rolled, according to a firefighter. A second ambulance was also called a few minutes later. A few minutes after that, though, firefighters discovered a second vehicle with damage, a white Honda Accord, not far from the first vehicle. Police dispatch at the same time told Concord officers heading to the scene that 911 had just received a call from a man who told them he had just brought a handgun and accidentally shot himself and a friend inside an apartment on Bog Road, and he was driving himself to the hospital. I have no idea if this is all connected, the dispatcher said. Witness from Bog Road reported hearing a single gunshot and multiple vehicles fleeing the apartment building, and police realized the cases were in fact connected. Police dispatch took another 911 call from a driver of an SUV who reported having a gunshot victim who was bleeding inside the vehicle, and they were heading to the hospital. Officers caught up to the SUV at North State and Rumford Streets and followed it to Concord Hospital, while other officers were sent to the apartment to secure the building and investigate the shooting. After speaking to witnesses, police learned multiple people were in the vehicle that rolled, but there were passengers unaccounted for. Witnesses reported an SUV took a person who was shot from the crash scene, and later an officer told dispatchers they believe 5 people, including a juvenile, were all involved with the Chevrolet that crashed and the SUV. When officers arrived at the Pinewood Village apartment complex on Bog Road, They reported seeing the doors of the building and apartment open and investigated the scene. Definitely going to be where the shooting occurred. The first arriving officer said, "There's blood in the apartment. I don't see gun on first walk." Police later learned the gun was with another person, possibly in another apartment, and officers were attempting to find that person, according to scanner chatter. Officers cleared from the apartment many hours after, taking pictures and swabs of blood for detectives to investigate later. At the hospital, a gunshot victim said the incident was an accidental gun drop. A man told the officers he dropped the gun and it went off, according to scanner chatter. Police later reported that a bullet was lodged in the back of a man. He had initially organ damage and was heading to the operating room. Back on North State Street at just before 2 a.m. Sunday, another accident occurred, according to police and witnesses. A woman driving a Toyota Corolla rear-ended a police cruiser, providing traffic control for the first accident. After field sobriety tests, that driver, Jennifer Gross, 38, of Piscataway Road in Concord, was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated. She was taken into protective custody and transported to Concord Hospital. The Chevrolet was seized and towed to police headquarters. There were traffic delays in the area for around 6 hours. Concord Police Department Watch Commander Lieutenant Timothy King could not comment on the incident due to them being open investigations, but no other charges had been filed yet, and police believe there is no danger to the public. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. And thank you for watching this evening edition. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.